So let's get a party going. Now it's time to party and we'll party hard. Let's get a party going. When it's time to party, we will always party hard. And throw some chairs, because it's the chairquisition time. This is Party Panics from Everglow Interactives on the Unity engine. You can pick it up for around, 20 of your local, more like 15, 16, I don't know. It's $19 Canadian. It's kind of crazy. What is it? Party Panic is a crazy online and local multiplayer game. Compete against your friends in 30-plus rapid-fire minigames, race through the brutal gauntlet, or complete the trophy challenges on Trophy Island. There's even a built-in drinking game. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It's stupid. Grab your friends, pick your characters, and get partying in this exciting and panic-filled game. So the dev sent us some keys, so we decided to check that out. We streamed a bit of it on Tuesday, too, if you want to check out some more gameplay. You can check that out. They recorded about an hour. But it's time for Chairquisition. 1 chair means that it's garbage. 2 chairs means meh. 3 chairs means that it's okay. And 4 chairs means that it's awesome. We got our categories Odoo mixed with the working. Shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So let's kick this off then. How did Party Panic launch?
Over here, on there. Hopefully soon to be retired. Current box of business. 8150. Powered by 980 displayed at UHD that's not something we're going to talk about too much with this. Running the Ubuntu 1604 LTS dot whatever the fuck all it is this week. Well, I hope you like playing at 30, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because that's what you're going to be playing at. Not 2160, not 1440, not even 720p. Don't matter. 30. That's what it can do. That's what this game offers. There's an option for 60, but it's full of lies. Worse than that is it definitely struggles to maintain just 30 with a GTX 980. So you know what? Out of the box, I can say it definitely runs. It launches. It makes this screen that I'm showing you right now. But that's about all you can expect. I'm going to throw you 2 chairs on that technical bit.
So, there's a story behind this. Our good friend and show card artist, Mr. Mike Tehan, and I were a little inebriated last night. And I said, "Hey man, you want to play some Party Panic?" He's like, "Sure." And so I launched it. Everything was kind of fine. You can't actually change graphic settings without actually editing the prefs file, because the game will crash when you try to apply graphic settings. So I set it in windowed mode, and away I go. Empty, on the other hand, had all sorts of problems, where the game would just not launch. He set the resolution to 1080 by 1920, which, look, he sent me a picture of that. It looks super weird on the fucking UHD monitor, but it fits in a little corner, 1080 by 1920. And his performance was really, really ass. For me, it was actually kind of acceptable with the defaults on high on the 980 with the i7 6700K on Fedora 26. But then I decided I'm going to test out the local multiplayer today. And so I sat down with my roommate, and lo and behold, there's some issues with the 700 series, because the Steam box I have has a 750 Ti, Empty has a 780 Ti, and it was just not having any of it. Oh man. Plus, that UI is fucking busted as shit and confusing as all hell. Hot damn, it works technically half the time, depending on your computer, so I gotta give it 2. It's not quite 1, because launches. Hot damn.
Yeah. If you try to uncap the frame rate in full screen mode, the game will break. If you try to change any of the other settings, the game will break. Really, the only thing you can hope for, if for some reason you'd like to change the graphical settings, you pray. Basically, you pray that the game doesn't crash when you change it to windowed mode, because then you could just make all the changes you want. Not that they make much of a difference, especially in capping the frame rate, because at least on my box, when I set the frame rate cap to 60, it went from 30 to 35, 36, somewhere around there. That's 35, 36 FERPs for a game with no textures, running on a 4.5 gigahertz FX 8370E and a GeForce GTX 1080.
Thanks to just GFox, man.
Yeah, the GFox. In any case, that it runs terribly. I genuinely thought we were done with Unity games having really terrible performance on Linux. Not the case.
Yeah, you're kind of wrong. How many chairs?
2.
Yeah, that's 2 for mixed working up next to shiny and sounds. Ben, what'd you think?
Well, let's see. Take a look at it. I mean, it looks primitive. One thing, matchmaking, also kind of spotty. More about that in the fun section. What do you have? Kind of like Gang Beast, sort of wannabe, clay-like beings, wicked simple levels, backgrounds, and all that. I'm not saying anything's lazy. No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's really fucking primitive. It looks really old school. And shiny and sounds, yeah, that's pretty much the shiny. Clay-like character... try to be funny. I think the Sterling says, is this supposed to be mean, doing with the hats and sticking out the tongues and all that? You can punch each other in the loading screens. That's going to go in the lobby. Can't say I hate that. You're going to be spending quite some time in the lobby trying to get multiplayer working if you're watching live. This is real time. Pedro and I trying to figure out how to connect to each other. And yeah, this is real experience. We're not showing you the super cut on this one. Sound-wise, it's got oonce and it's got some wub, and both of those can, thankfully, largely be ignored. And, yeah, just kind of roll it another 2 on this, because it's nothing impressive. I mean, even if it had decent performance on modern hardware, no, I don't think I would have given it more than that. And, again, work was done to make it look as good as it looks, but... not enough. Should have hired an artist.
Yeah, the graphics are really just kind of there. They're ultimately there to serve the gameplay, and that's about it. I mean, you can pick a costume. You get a bunch of loot boxes. I picked the Wiener Man because I always pick the food-shaped guys in these games where you can beat people up, because then I like to scream at them to eat some fucking lunch. There are noises. Your guys do make noise, and especially when you're fucking around with settings in the profiles, the game audio is about all you're gonna be hearing, and it's not anything to really write home about. Like I said, this is all very much in service to the game itself. There's nothing really striking going on. It's just there so that you have something to move around while you play your game. I can't really say much more than that. So 2 chairs.
Yeah, the graphics serve their purpose and nothing else. The sounds, most of them are also perfectly acceptable for what they are, but the random screams and guttural interjections by the characters are completely uncalled for, and they just sound so bad. Seriously, no, I honestly don't even know what the developers were thinking, just having the characters randomly scream or do some weird bullshit while you're trying to set up or you're waiting on someone. That's annoying. It was just annoying. In fact, if you go back and watch the live stream that Vet and I did, I spent a non-negligible amount of time complaining about those interjections. So yeah, 2 chairs, and I guess I can't give it 1 because they technically work.
Yeah, so that's 2 chairs for Shining Sounds. Moving on over to controls, then. What'd you think?
They're definitely thing, man. Here's the thing. Not nice and quick. The controls are slippery, and we have a word for people who would say otherwise about this game. We call them liars. Yeah, that's kind of when this game bothers to register your damn input in the first place. I think Pedro will get onto that a bit more than I will. And how the hell are you supposed to play this game drunk? It has a drinking game party mode. I'll talk more about that in the fun section. When, out of the box, again, go back and watch the live stream. They're not bad. It's just... they are on the polar fucking opposite universe side of what the fuck ever of accurate. There's definitely, you definitely feel like there's an RNG element introduced in there intentionally or unintentionally that shouldn't be there, especially for a game that you're supposed to start drinking with. Yeah, you kind of feel like drunk mode's enabled out of the box. We're just steamrolling this critter with 2 more chairs.
Yeah, I mean, so they one nice thing they do have that most Unity games do not have is in the options, you can switch what kind of button prompts you get. If you have a DualShock controller, you can get the DualShock prompts. If you have an Xbox controller, you can get the Xbox prompts. However, never the twain shall meet if you have a combination of Xbox and PlayStation controllers, like, say, I do. Then one person is going to be getting weird-ass prompts while the other one isn't. Yeah, the controls are really, really, really slippery, and sometimes you can't really tell, like, you can't really see your character react. Like, when you hit the punch and kick buttons, you can't see if you're actually doing anything, which gets really confusing. And then, sometimes shit just doesn't work. One thing about the drinking game, though, that kind of bugged me is it's always the person with the lower score at the end who has to drink. So even if you've been doing poorly and then you manage to pull off a win, you're still going to end up drinking, which is really, really dumb because you need to spread it out so that everyone gets equally drunk, as opposed to the one person who just stays drunk and then dies of alcohol poisoning. In fact, I think dying of alcohol poisoning would be more favorable to playing this game? Question mark? 2 cheers.
It's a bit of spoilers, but yeah. On more than one occasion, I noticed that the game just outright ignored my input. Not entirely sure if it was because of the Unity shitty default input handling, the crap performance, or a combination of both. I'm going to guess the latter. So, yeah, the controls, it picked up on the Steam controller out of the box just fine. Keyboard and mouse technically also works if you hate yourself that much. But yeah, it's every now and again it will outright ignore one of your inputs, and I'm not entirely sure where the fault lies, so I'm 3 chairs for the controls.
That's oddly generous, Pedro, but 3 chairs for controls. Let's put a bow on this now. Then, did you have fun playing Party Panic? Is it party time?
With Party Panic, unless you have IRL people to play this, look elsewhere, because you saw in the beginning, the online community is pretty much DEAD, deceased, no more. And the ones that are there are the ones that like to play this. Those type. I mean, I couldn't start a game with like the 3 people that were online. Well, they immediately jumped in the room. They're like, yes, friend. And yeah, none of that. It runs like ass. It has bugs and glitches galore, which can be fun for all the wrong reasons. Absolute shite controls. Minigames completely not explained properly, and what little explanation there is, it's on the wrong fucking screen. Again, we keep saying, go back and watch that live stream. Go do it. You basically get QA from Pedro and myself. And built-in drinking game, it's nothing more than telling the loser to take a shot, man. That's your built-in drinking game. I don't even know why that's advertised. This might appeal to streamers who want to play something that's busted, yet still technically playable. But even then, they're probably going to have a hard time with the price tag. So, okay, single player, maybe that's a thing. I didn't bother going back and trying it, and I couldn't imagine anybody doing that. I've never played Mario Party, so I don't have that to compare it to. I think Pedro and I had more fun punching each other in the fucking lobby than we did playing any aspect of the actual game itself. I don't feel bad throwing it 1 share.
Oh, absolutely. The best part of this game, period, is in the fucking lobby screen where you just beat the shit out of everyone. That is by far the single most entertaining aspect of this game. In fact, if they had made a game that was purely that, it would just be called Gang Beasts. Let's be real. But anyways, I was never really a fan of Mario Party because all my friends excluded me while they were playing it, and I got no practice, and so when it came my turn to play, I would lose, and I'd have to pass the controller. You all know that story. I have no friends. Boo-hoo. Jordan sucks. Anyways, this is Mario Party without the board game elements, generic characters, serial numbers filed off, and a tacked-on drinking game. I suppose if you can get some other people to play with you, you could theoretically milk some fun out of it by shit-talking each other and just making fun of this terrible, awful game. But even then, that's a bit rough. I was playing this with Empty for an hour, and the busted-ass game itself, the shit controls, the piss-poor performance, just completely negates any good time that you might have playing this game. The stupid UI will reset itself. Like if you set stuff to the prefs file, or even if you set stuff through the UI, sometimes it will just decide to reset itself, and then your game is fucked, and you have to spend 15 minutes trying to unfuck it, going through various iterations of configurations. And I do appreciate when games throw in the ability to have combination of local and network multiplayer, but this doesn't really help this game all that much. It's just bad. It needed more time in the oven. I feel that this could have been a moderately entertaining party game experience had they actually, taken the time to properly QA it and, release a finished product. One share.
Yeah. I don't think... I think you all can see where this is going, but just to give you a little bit of feedback, not feedback, just background about me as a quote-unquote games critic, or an asshole on the internet, as the case may be. I'm a big fan of Yahtzee Croshaw, which is also not a surprise to anyone who's been watching the show long enough. Unless this is your first time watching, at which point I'd have to ask, why are you doing this to yourself? Now, Yahtzee likes to say that a game should be able to stand on its single player to justify its price. And honestly, I never really agreed with that. I agree with a lot of what he says, but that one is one that I never really agreed with. I think if a game is designed from the ground up with multiplayer as its core concept, be it co-op, competitive, whatever, then it's perfectly acceptable to judge those games for what they are. And Party Panic, as it is a perfectly serviceable party game if you have a 30 hertz TV and have music blaring over the rest of the house to drown out the stupid screams that the plasticine men make. Otherwise, most people that are currently at your party will play a single game, just the one, and then tell you that they'd rather help you, do the dishes. And that's not something you want your video game to cause in people. A video game usually kind of needs people to want to play it. It needs to motivate people to keep on playing it. Because if you're playing a video game and you want to do chores, then your video game has failed as a concept. Now, the only chance you'll get to have someone to play this game with you is if you have someone like me who's doing it for the sole purpose of, I am alright at video games, so I'm not going to let you beat me kind of deal. But that's it. And at that point, it doesn't really matter which game you're playing. And, well, Party Panic is not even a good example for that. One chair.
Oh, you're done. Hi, Pedro. You're right next to me. Yeah. Oh, I can't clip into it. Anyways, that's one share for fun. See, I had more fun trying to do that than playing Party Panic. That tallies everything out to one share as well. Final thoughts, ladies, gentlemen, persons of indeterminate gender. What's up?
Hey, I was kind of reading through some of the reviews and just discussions and stuff going on Steam. Like, bizarrely enough, there was definitely the people go, you're being too hard on it. You just got to give it more time. Here's how it works, Brad. When you release a game from early access, all criticism is valid, especially when you release a busted pile of nope. And while your game is technically playable and it's technically a game, it was not ready for release. You know that. And everyone who's not fucking delusional knows that as well. Bad game is bad. And wholly overpriced for what it brings to the table.
Yeah, definitely. And it could have been basically the Mario Party for Linux. And it isn't. It's just another crappy Unity game that kind of sort of works, except not really. And it's way too complicated. It's not really easy to get into a lobby and just start up a game quickly. It's not done. It's not finished. I don't know.
Yeah, half-baked is usually an adjective used to describe people like me, but it can also apply to this game. Yeah, it's just not very good. I feel if it had like maybe another 6 months to a year development, it could have been something worthwhile. But for now, it's just a buggy, busted pile of shit.